Google underpaid thousands of international shadow workers, violating labor laws around the world, reports reveal.
Here's a summary of the article.
Google underpaid thousands of international contract workers, violating pay parity laws in several countries, The New York Times and The Guardian reported Friday. The tech giant's compliance department discovered the mistake but chose not to immediately compensate the underpaid temporary staff, according to the reports, and instead only corrected rates for new employees in the hopes of avoiding legal, financial, and reputational damage. Alan Barry, a Google manager based in Ireland, feared that the dramatic pay increase would cause employees to connect the dots and give rise to a flurry of noise, frustration, according to internal emails reviewed by The Times. "I'm also not keen to invite the charge that we've allowed this situation to persist for so long that the correction required is significant," Barry wrote in an email, per NYT. Pay parity labor laws in Europe and Asia require companies to pay equitable wages to full-time and temporary workers who perform similar workplace duties, a protocol that does not exist in the U.S. According to The Guardian, Google employs over 900 temporary workers throughout the UK, Ireland, India, Germany, the Netherlands, France, and Poland, all of which enforce local pay parity laws. While the team hasn't increased the comparator rate benchmarks for some years, actual pay rates for temporary staff have increased numerous times in that period, Spyro Koretsos, Google's chief compliance officer, said in a statement to Insider. Google's temporary and contract workers reportedly outnumber its force of full-time employees, creating a shadow workforce that has attempted unionizing in recent years to fight for fair wages and benefits, Insider's Katie Canales reported. In some cases, Google barred contractors from communicating with full-time Googlers and made temps wear red badges that one employee said led to a sense of shame among the company's temporary workforce, Insider's Nick Baston reported in 2019.
This post received a score of 46,000, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Crazy how many of these headlines I see and rarely ever see company punished for crime they committed.
They do, but it's usually cheaper for them to just pay the fine.
Yeah, these fines must be ramped up on a massive scale. Or at least double-digit percentages of the money they make before all the costs are paid. Forgot the English word for that. With multi-billion fines over their heads, they'd stop that shit pretty quick.
Yes, punitive fines greater than the gross revenue made via skirting the law should be the norm.
It's insane if it isn't. People get charged hundreds of dollars for evading a $2 bus fare or even jail time for stealing deodorant.
But those are people without massive legal teams and huge budgets to lobby whichever politicians they want.
I'm sick of reading headlines like, corporation paid below legal wages to workforce, and member of Congress failed to report stock transactions, as if these weren't actions that were done on purpose in the first place.
When it's theft committed by rich people against poor people, it's always framed as accounting error or oopsie-daisy.
Whoops, I made millions of dollars while voting against eviction moratoriums and increasing minimum wage during a global pandemic. My bad.
It's a really common error. 1 minute you're gerrymandering, then boom. You make too much money buying the stocks of your friend's company who happens to be the CEO of Boeing.
Could have happened to any of us really. It happened to me on my mega yacht. Sweat droplets.
Time for a charity event.
Seems the everything is functioned the way they wanted to. They're probably bummed they got caught though. Too bad they won't actually be held accountable.
There will be a few pittance fines, if any, and Google will just account for it as the cost of doing business. From David Graeber.
Greater than, you can commit all the fraud you like, but if we catch you, you're going to have to give us our cut. I thought this was how most of us thought of it for the past century or so. Can confirm the shame part. As an intern, I had 100x more access than contract workers who were barred from just about everything.
The access issue is a legal and security thing.
It is, but why does someone who has been working there for potentially several years get less access than someone who by definition is temporary and working there for 8 weeks?
You go through a different vetting process as an intern, FTE, and thus are privileged with more info. Contractors are hired via second party, and often are tasked with only having access to the specific project they are working on. I know Reddit likes to circle jerk hate on tech companies, but labeling it shameful for having different badges is far from reality. It'd be like being a guide at the White House and complaining it's discrimination and shameful your badge looks different than the Secret Service's.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.